Welcome to the latest episode of the Closer's Corner podcast. My name is Greg Simpson. I am your host as always. To recap what we're doing here on the Closer's Corner podcast is letting the general public know what goes on behind the scenes in a real estate transaction that allows our agents like Emily here today to earn their actual commission, make their money. So Emily, welcome to the show today.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Happy to have you on the show today. Emily is one of our brand new agents. She's been here, a month, maybe two?
I think about a month and a half.
Month and a half, yeah. So walk us through a little bit of your real estate journey, how long you've been doing it, and where you've kind of been before you joined us here at Outfast.
Okay. I got my license back in 2016, but I only did real estate part-time.
Okay.
I had a full-time job that I just recently, last year, resigned from. So
What was that?
I was a executive assistant at a credit union.
Okay.
So, and that was I was supposed to do real estate full-time when I got my license.
Okay.
That was, our plan, but of course it didn't work out that way. My daughter got accepted into college and I had to pay her expenses and her tuition.
Okay.
So I had to get a job, which sucked,
Darn kids.
but I know. Thank God I don't have to do that anymore, but she graduated last year and she's doing her master's up in IU, so I don't have to.
Where at?
In IU, Indiana University.
Okay.
University. So I don't have to pay her bills anymore, which thank God I just have to pay her car, but that's fine. But I have been with other brokerages, the big box brokerages, two of them actually.
Okay.
And I started off with the one, and it was pretty good. I learned a lot.
Sure.
Training was really good. That's why I stuck with them. But then they kind of got bought out, and it was like, oh, okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I went with another one.
Okay.
And that was more of I like the mom and pop feel.
Okay.
I like that, your broker is available, when you need them.
Yep.
So that's why I went with the mom and pop, brokerage. And, they did really well, and still friends with them. Her son actually went to school with my son.
Okay.
So that's kind of why I also went over that way too.
Okay.
But a lot of my clients that I've had over the years are just family and friends. I would say 99% of my clients are family and friends.
I would hope so.
Yeah, because I think I only had a couple of deals that were from mailers. And I was like, oh my gosh, it was my first deal was I did a neighborhood farming thing, and I got a deal from a couple down the street from me, and they wanted to sell their home and find another home. So I helped on both sides.
Nice.
And that was really hard.
That's pretty rare.
It is. And you hear people talking about, I'm going to do both sides. I'm going to get the listing, and I'm going to find them a house, and that's hard. That's very hard.
Well, it's hard. That's really hard, but it's also hard to get leads and prospects from circle prospecting, door knocking, and stuff like that in general, because real estate is a very big, heavy referral business.
It is.
Sure.
It really is. I mean, I've done the door knocking too when we first started. I had a partner, and her and I would go door knocking on FSBOs. And
God, I kicked you in the ass, I'm sure.
Right. Every day for about 4 hours,
Yeah.
we would door knock.
How long did you guys do that for?
We did it for about 2 months.
Okay.
And then and we got nothing from it. We didn't get not one call. No, we did get one guy did actually talk to us.
Okay.
But they were waiting. And then when we contacted them later on, they decided not to sell.
Oh, well,
so,
fine.
of course, but I mean, it's been, even my first deal, when I got both sides, I couldn't believe what I had to go through. And plus I was offering a coupon that, if we sold your house if we got under contract within 30 days, I would give you $500.
Okay.
But my commission was not that much.
Yes, if you're splitting with a partner too, I don't know.
Exactly.
That's tough.
So it was, that was hard, and just the demands that they, the owners had.
Sure.
I would have to, I went and I actually would go get their dogs, their cats, when there was a showing because they weren't able to do it.
Oh my goodness.
I was in Orlando at one for the weekend, and I guess an agent came to show their home and forgot to lock their sliding glass door. And they were out of town. They were in North Carolina, and I was like, oh. So I had to drive back home because I couldn't get in touch with I couldn't get in touch with my son. I couldn't get in touch with my daughter. I had to drive back home and go lock it. So I mean,
Holy moly.
yeah, just the stuff that, people don't really see. They don't see. And then and then some of these, owners will, and I think they gave me a bad review too. I want to say, I think they gave me like a C, and I was like, "Are you kidding me? All the shit that I had to do,
Wow.
for
good.
you." Okay.
Yeah. I've dropped plenty of F-bombs and
Okay.
S-bombs and other ones on this show plenty of
Just
times.
making sure.
All good.
But yeah, I mean, it was just,
This is your first deal?
This is my very first deal.
Jeez.
And after that, I was like, I told my husband, I don't think I want to do this. I was like, I can't handle that. It was like a lot of pressure. And plus I was working full time at the time also.
Did you see the meme that I posted in the Facebook group or our WhatsApp group?
I didn't.
Oh, I got to show it to you.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay,
It
we'll
literally
see
reminds
that.
me of what we just talked about. Okay,
I know,
I'll send it to you after the podcast.
I was freaking out. I was like, oh my God, I can't do this. This is too much. And I would like call my husband crying. I just remember one time I just broke down and I just threw everything off my desk and I was like, fuck it, I'm done. I'm not doing this shit anymore.
Yeah.
But my husband was like, no, you got to stick with it. You did it. Just,
The first one's the hardest, and I say that on the realtor side. I've said that on the investor side. The first one is the hardest one.
Yes.
But that's where the momentum starts, though. You can't stop at that point because all that hard work you just did gain that experience, to gain that knowledge, would just literally go up in the window, up in the air. And so, like, I remember, like, the mentor that I had at that time, or one of my first mentors was Ron LeGrand, the godfather of real estate investing. I wouldn't say he was a close mentor. It was more I took his course and stuff and met him a couple times. His thing was always to get that first shut up check.
Oh,
so that
yeah.
you would tell yourself to shut up that you can't do it, but also more importantly telling your friends and family and the haters before haters was a thing, that you can do real estate.
Yeah.
And that you make a big fat check.
Yep.
And you can get a middle finger to those that say you couldn't do
right.
it. And mostly it is really for yourself, because we have all these limiting beliefs and these doubts that we can't do it.
Yeah.
And then you get that first one, it's like, oh, hell yeah, I can. I did get your teeth kicked in, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I know, because I remember just like closing on both those deals. I was like, oh, thank God. Mm-hmm. And after that, it was like, I got 7 more deals.
Oh, wow.
And I was, part-time.
Okay.
And it was, I was waking up in the morning showing homes, going to work, at lunch showing homes, getting off work showing homes. So
go.
it was,
Wow.
yeah.
You turned one or basically 2 transactions into 7 really quickly? Or how long? Wow.
Because it was probably within like a year, like a year span. Like right after that happened, I got 7 more deals.
Wow.
And probably within like 6 months.
Okay.
Like a 6 month span. Like right after I had deals.
Let's dive into that. I know that's not what we're going to talk about too much, but let's talk about how did you turn the 2 into 7 more? What happened there that caused that?
It was my husband always says it was God. God's going to put these people in your life to buy, to help them out. And I've never like really thought of myself as like a person who can solve problems, because when I have a problem, I go to my husband.
Okay.
And I like, solve this for me. I don't know what to do. But my brother ended up buying. And I had 3 aunts that ended up buying.
Okay.
And they lived in Utah, in Oregon, let's see, and in California.
Okay. And they all moved here?
Okay. Yeah,
When
and
was
this was
17?
Like
16?
18,
Okay.
2017, 2018,
Okay.
around that time.
Gotcha.
And, and after that, then I had a friend that bought, 2 friends that bought a home.
See why it's important to get the shut up check, y'all?
Right.
Because everyone then sees, ooh, he or she knows what they're doing.
See, but they all thought I would give them a discount. I was like, okay, I don't get a discount. I'm buying a home. Why would I give you a discount?
No. That's actually a thing that Andy Frisilla, I don't know if you follow him at all or not. He's one of my favorite podcast hosts. He talks about all the time, don't you dare ask your friends and family for a discount.
Yeah. I don't do
like,
that.
Like, they're hustling.
Yeah.
They're trying to earn a living. They got to pay
This
their
is
bills
their
just like
business.
you do.
Yeah.
It's their business. Don't ask them for a discount. If anything, give them an extra bonus at the end instead of asking for a discount.
I'll tip higher.
Yeah. Like, I've tried. My cousin used to cut my hair back when I had hair, and I was like, Gino, let me pay you something. He was like, no. I'm like, dude, I got to pay you something, bro.
Yeah.
And he just wouldn't let me. So, like, at least offer.
Exactly. Yeah, you do. You just can't automatically think, oh, just because you're family and friends that, I'm going to get a discount.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess they thought that.
Yeah.
So, it was like, okay, well, moving on from that, but even after that, like my aunt now is the one that, she was trying to buy 3 homes just recently. we closed on one of them, but 2 of the deals fell through, and
Right.
it was just a big mess.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say the company's name.
Okay. It starts with an L.
A big L.
You would figure it out from the story,
Right.
okay? I promise you. You still will figure it out.
But they approved her. She paid cash for the first home.
Okay.
Because she sold a home and, didn't want to pay capital gains, so she reinvested the money and
Sure.
so forth. And then she wanted to be financed for the other 2 homes. So we got with this company, and they were like, oh yeah, that's fine. They approved it for the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Then a month later, because they told us that investors can only buy 1 home a month. Yeah.
Okay.
So we waited for like the first of the month, and she bought another home, and they approved her for that one.
All right.
And last week is when they canceled the 2 sales because they said she all of a sudden didn't have loan approval.
Did they give a real reason, or was it just all of a sudden denied?
It was just, she was going through an issue with something on her credit. But
Okay.
that was just the only one blemish. But they already approved her
Right.
for 2 loans.
Right.
Now, all of a sudden, a couple days before closing, and this was right around Thanksgiving, they're like, no. So we're like,
Was she using their mortgage company?
their mortgage company, yes. She used their mortgage company because how they offer, these incentives. Don't believe that bullshit.
Yeah.
Don't believe that, you go to like a new builder and they're going to offer you these incentives, because I had another buyer just a couple months ago who was supposed to get $11,000, but then when you looked at his closing documents, it was only like $6,000 that he got. So I was like, where's the other? I was like, okay, well, where's the other money? Where's the other $5,000?
And they didn't have an answer for you.
No, this is bullshit they told me. Oh, it went towards like other credits that we had to pay. And I was like,
That's not your
what? I said, that's his closing cost money, not yours.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, that's bullshit.
Were you able to get it back, or they were just
No.
telling you tough shit?
Yeah, they were just, and then that's how they are. Whatever they say, it pretty much, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well then, you know what? If you don't want this home, we'll keep your money and we'll move on to someone else.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, it's this catch-22 because you have repeat business for them.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And like my business coach, the guy who started Action Coach, he has a book about buying customers, and it always says like the hardest customer to get is the first one. To get the repeat business from them should be much easier, right? So builders right now have this, they're doing this juggling act on their own, and it's not their fault. It's the market that we're in, where they're like, do we want the repeat business from someone like her? Or do we want to just keep getting the new business because we know that they can sell for higher price because the demand is so
Yes.
high? But like guaranteed repeat business is a really tough thing to turn down. So like they're somewhat, and it's not just that L company, it's a lot of them too are doing the same thing because they're like, the market is still really hot. It's not as hot as it was maybe 3 or 4 months ago in the summertime. It's just, I think it's seasonality. But like it's just this catch-22 that they're even having to juggle right now. Do we want to keep the repeat business, or do
Yeah.
we want to keep bumping the prices up and up and up and up
And finding
and
someone
canceling
else.
on people like
and
that
that's what they're
to
doing.
just get $20,000 more because they know they can do
They
that?
can do and that's exactly what they did, because the 2 properties that were canceled, they actually sold them at higher prices.
Of course.
And I was like, fuck
Sounds-
y'all.
Yeah. I don't blame
was
it.
so pissed. And and the thing is, I didn't even realize how much money I lost. I
Yeah.
was really concerned about
Yeah, no.
my buyer.
Yeah, most agents that I have met, even from like the Outfast crew, obviously, and also just agents in general, a majority of agents don't care so much about the commission. They care about making sure their client or
Yes.
customer, whatever the heck we're supposed to call them now,
Yeah.
are serviced properly. Like
Yep.
it's a misconception that realtors are all about the commission only. Yes, there are some of those, but that's the minority of them.
Exactly. And people don't, and they don't realize that. They think, oh my God, I had a friend, I was actually dealing with all this last week, and I had a friend that was with me, and she was like, I didn't realize you did all this stuff, because I was on the phone from the morning. I would get emails, text messages, calls 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'm on the phone all day till about 10, 11 o'clock at night trying to get this issue resolved and trying to figure out what we're going to do, come up with a plan. And she was like, I didn't know you did all this. And I was like, this is not I said, this is nothing.
This is the point of this podcast. Like literally, like hearing all this stuff. And it's crazy. Like now that I have been doing this podcast, I think we're on episode 8 or 9 or 10 or something like that. It's amazing because like I try to keep in touch with you guys as much as possible via our weekly trainings or just the WhatsApp channel. And I hear some of your guys' horror stories and craziness. And then I get on the podcast and I hear even crazier stories. And I'm just like, holy shit, you guys really do earn your money. And I run the brokerage and I hear this little stuff over here. And then we do this and I'm just like,
yeah,
my goodness.
It is a lot. You know,
it's a lot.
I've helped, you know, clients pack. I've helped clients move. I've helped them unpack. I've, you know, whatever they need me to do. Like my one listing, like with the dogs, you know, I know it's hard when, you know, your clients are working, you know, and you have a showing and they have pets at home.
Yep.
You know, I'm like, okay, well, you know,
honestly,
I'll take
something
them.
I would have even thought about, honestly, as with any of this. Like I've never even thought about what would I do with my dogs if I was going to sell my house. I'm not going to crate them all day.
Yeah.
That sucks, you know.
And that's the thing, you know, I think people don't really realize, you know, when I have a pet, you know, and I sell my home and people are coming in and out of my house, you know, I mean, I know some people crate them all day, you know, and I do hear of some people doing that, but, you know, I wouldn't crate them all day.
No.
I mean,
Caitlin, that's a good video for you. Your next YouTube video. Did you?
Your pets when you're selling your home.
There you go.
oh, see, that's good. Should actually post it like everywhere,
Yeah.
so people know.
Yeah.
I might redo it because that was literally the first one I did.
Yeah, do it again and like you should run ads on that stuff to people who like Humane Society because you do rescues and all that stuff. So
Yeah, there you go.
see? There you go. There you go.
But yeah, you know, you have to help them out, you know, because I mean, you know, you do work for your money, and like, and it's not like they're just paying you like $100, you know, you're getting, you know, a commission off of this, and so I'm not one of these people that'll just sit back and just let stuff happen, you know, okay, well, I'll let you deal with it, and that, you know, I think, and also that worries me is you know, this is your money. You know, your money is in my hands, and you know, what am I don't want to make any mistakes for you to lose your money. So that was always like my big thing about like defaulting on the contract, you know, and making sure that, you know, everything's in order, that I'm on time, that I'm, you know, I don't want to, you know, fuck your money up, and you know, here you're losing your deposits, and you know, that's what, because even like with my one investor, you know, almost lost her deposits because he was going to keep them. The big L was going to keep her deposit. That was almost $60,000 in deposits. 60 in deposits.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, oh hell no. I was like, I don't have 60.
They canceled and they tried to keep the
Yeah. Yep.
Bruh.
Yeah.
I'd be on the phone to my attorney real quick and be like,
Oh yeah, that's what she was like.
You can't cancel and keep my money.
That's what that's what she was like. She was like, you gave me loan denial, and now you're trying. She was like, oh no, my attorneys will be calling you. She was like, just give me the letter, and I will have my attorneys contact you.
Yeah, Andrew would be on notice very quickly.
But yeah, it was crazy. But then they decided to let her transfer it.
Okay.
So it was like, okay, good.
At a higher price, of course.
Yeah, and but they still want her to put more money down too when she does find something.
Oh my goodness.
And I was like, you guys are like fucking nuts. I
Yeah.
can't believe, like, I was like these are my last deals with them.
Yeah.
I was like, I will not send any of my clients over that way.
That's where we're going back to the repeat business thing. It's like while they're one of the biggest ones out there, there's plenty of other builders out there.
Yeah.
I've heard really good things about starts with a P. I won't say their name. Heard really, really good things about them. Ilse has closed several deals with them, I think, at this point. And you got West Bay, you got Casa Fresca, you got all these other good ones out there too. Now, there's pros and cons to every builder.
Oh, yeah.
You got Domain and stuff like that too. But yeah, it's just, golly, man, I can't believe some of the stuff you just told me. Pretty wild.
Yeah, it has been. I mean, I have some of my closings have been smooth. I mean, like,
Yeah,
perfect.
of course, yeah.
I mean, it's like everything's
rare.
going great. It's very rare.
It's very rare.
And that's like one thing. That's why I was like really glad that my first deals were hard.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my very first one was like a hard one because it taught me, okay, it's not going to go easy every time. You know, those are like once in a lifetime deals where everything goes smooth, and you have like no issues. Everybody's on time. You don't have to deal with, calling the inspectors, calling the appraisers, calling, all these people, title, trying to find out what's going on. You don't have to deal with any of that.
Yeah.
Everybody, even the one listing I have now, everything is going smooth.
Good.
So, yeah, I know. I was like, nah.
It's funny, going back to I don't want to interrupt and derail this podcast, this is really your episode. But I remember my first house that I had under contract as an investor, that was the one we were gonna buy. We were gonna flip it and everything out in California. And then, so literally, we were past our inspection period, and we were getting ready to sign the closing docs and mail away. This is 8-9 years ago now, and my dad was doing one more due diligence of the documents, and he goes, "Wait a second, what is this right here?" And so there was one little parcel or section of the parcel in the front yard, corner of the front yard, that was Indian leased land.
Oh, wow.
And so you had to get approval from the tribe to buy the property and then also resell it and da-da-da. And then so we ended up having to fight to get our earnest money back because it was never disclosed in the beginning.
Oh, wow.
We found it during literally, I was walking out the door to UPS to send the document. So it was craziness. So the first deal was always the hardest. And we had to fight literally to get our money back on that one. And then the guy who bought it, I followed it. The guy lost money on the deal.
Wow.
Who actually ended up buying it off somewhere down the road.
See, yeah.
It was a mess. Mess. So that was good learning experience on the first deal. And then I could tell you a story about my really first closing was another mess. But yeah, you got to get out of the way.
You do. You really have to get over that hump. Mm-hmm. And then it's okay, I expect everything bad to happen for the next one. And sure enough, you have your issues.
Yep.
So
what would you say the percentage is of the easy ones versus the hard ones?
Gosh.
80-20? Or is it higher? 80 bad?
I would say, about 80-20.
Yeah, that's typical. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's, my good ones were good, but the bad ones were bad. It was
even the not easy ones, not the hard ones are still difficult sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're dealing with sellers, you're dealing with buyers, you're dealing with inspectors, the appraisers, and you're dealing with other agents who may not be cooperative either.
See, and that's one thing, my one, property that I have now, the agent, he's great.
Awesome.
I mean, he was on, everything was on point with him.
Good.
And I was like, you just made my job so much easier.
Yeah. That's nice to hear. We should recruit him.
You should.
We'll send him your episode and let him hear that.
And he's great. I
Good.
mean, just from, showing the beginning to even now, he's on time with everything. And you can tell he's a very detailed person.
Good.
And he stays on top of stuff, and I really like him.
Good.
He was good. So, but I've had agents who won't talk to me, who won't contact me. I'm I'm texting you. You don't even have to speak to me. I'm texting you. Just text me back.
I wonder I have my opinions on why that is and whatnot, but I don't really want to go into that too much other than I feel like there are a lot of agents who are very part-time, who just don't dedicate the proper amount of time. Especially if you have a listing, crying out loud, get back to your freaking buyer's agents.
Right away.
Yes.
Even the showings. Because I deal with a lot of buyers.
Okay.
So just to have showings, these agents don't respond back.
Mm-hmm.
It takes them days sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm okay, do you want to sell this or what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
I respond. If you're going to text me, if you want a showing, okay, hey, yes, I confirm it and, give you the instructions and everything. If you have any questions, just, call or text me. Mm-hmm. I went to a showing a couple months ago. We couldn't get into I guess it was one of those keypads, and I had the wrong, I guess they put the wrong code in there.
See, this is the stuff.
And then I couldn't get in touch with the agent.
And you're there with your clients.
And I'm there with my clients, and they're just standing there looking at me, and they're like, "Well, what's going on?" And I'm like, "Well, it's, the code is wrong. It's not. We can't get in, and I don't know what to do." I'm like, I said the agent's not getting back with me, so
use a Supra, damn it.
Yeah,
every one of you.
Yes.
Stop using
some of
combos.
Exactly, and that's why I was just like. It's not that hard.
It's not.
It's really not that hard.
That comes back to a lot what I've been preaching, and that's why I feel like we're a lot different here at Outfast, is that we teach you guys to run your business like a business and not a hobby. You're putting a $10 lockbox on, in my opinion. You are not investing in your business. You're part-timer, half-asser, not looking at it as a real business. And what does a super cost a month? And if you don't know what a super is, it's a electronic lockbox.
Yeah, it was.
What's it cost a month?
Like $14 for the app or whatever, and then the actual box is like $130 for new.
Yeah,
so
and you can buy them used.
Yeah, and you can buy them used for I think like $100 or something.
Come on, guys.
I mean, it's a good investment.
If you're a listing agent and you're making 3% on a $300,000 house, you guys can do some math. You can afford that amount. Come on.
I mean, those little. I mean, I remember like when I first started. In part of the training that we had, we talked about those combination lock boxes, and they were like, you can go on YouTube, and you can see how to break these.
Oh yeah.
these little combination, locks. And then your house, someone can just get into the house and do whatever they want.
Pretty much.
And that's like that's part of my selling, technique too. I
be.
talk about how we secure your home. We don't just put these little combination lock boxes and throw you out there and if something happens. No, I actually put that heavy ass lock on your door.
Yep. You okay if I put your phone number and your contact information in the show notes?
Not a problem.
So guys, if you loved what Emily has just told you here on this podcast today, and you'd like to work with her because she goes the extra mile, like all of our agents here at Outfast Realty, you guys can find all of her contact information in the show notes. All you got to do is scroll a little bit in the show notes and find her name, her phone number, her email address. You guys can contact her for any of your buying and selling needs. Emily, thank you very much for coming on the show today, and thank you for doing a great job for all of your clients and customers out there.
Thank you. I
Awesome.
try.
Yes. All right, guys, if you like what you heard today, make sure you like us on everything, including Spotify. Subscribe to us, rate us, review us on Apple, and pretty much everywhere else you get the podcast out there. If you liked us on YouTube, subscribe, give us a comment, and we will answer any and all questions you have on YouTube. Looking forward to the next episode of The Closer's Corner. We are out.
Back. Hands up.